Hey guys, let's talk about the last two episodes of Real Housewives of Orange County. But before we do it, I would love to have you click the subscribe button. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new here. It really, really helps me out. It gets more exposure to my channel. It helps build this little community. So I would love to have you. We talk about all types of good stuff. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell. You'll know whenever I post a video. It really, really helps me out. With that being said, let's talk about the last two episodes of Real Housewives of Orange County. I'm going to do them both in one video, just like we did Atlanta. And yeah, we'll start with episode 13, but I'm sorry, not 13. We'll start with episode 9, and then we'll go on to 10. And if you have not seen 10 yet, I'll try to give you a little spoiler to let you know. Stop here. So, where do we arrive at? We arrive at Shannon and Tamra and Vicki at the restaurant, and Shannon's really triggered. Okay, we come back from the last review we did. Shannon's really triggered that the other women have been talking about her relationship with John. Now, I'll let you guys know how I felt about John. I'm the type of person where I don't really have to see much. I can see one or two different interactions, and I can already decide if I'm fucking with you or not. It's like, that time that Shannon was talking about how much she was really, really intent on building up her frozen food brand for her kids because they're all going to college, and it was the first time that she really had a career. And he was like, well, but I'm concerned that you don't have much time for me. Instead of being like, you got this, babe, that's amazing. I just was like, I'm getting red flags. I'm just reading that she's not all right. Like where we saw with David that she wasn't all right, she just looks tired. She looks worn out. I mean, she looks like this man has been pulling her through the doggone ringer. And unchecked mental health can really do that. I love seeing Emily spending time with her family. I love Emily and Shane and Annabelle and all their kids. I really, really do. I feel like I relate most to Emily. I like how Shane is like is shading her basically, but then later on she brings up like, I know it's all in good fun and stuff, but I didn't have this experience like that. Like my mom was on this crazy stuff and we didn't really have a lot of money, like I really like that she brings us into that stuff. Her vulnerability, that's Emily's best quality, it's her best and worst quality is her vulnerability. You guys remember that party where she had on that pink dress and she went off on, who was it? Was it Heather? Or was it Vicki? I can't even remember, but it was because somebody had said something about Shane. So that's her best and worst quality is she wears her heart on her sleeve, and she's probably a very good attorney because of that. We see that Tamra and Jen are finally starting to kind of resolve this stuff about their issues, and eventually, I mean, spoiler alert, skip ahead like 15 seconds if you don't want to hear this, but she and Tamra and Jen arranged for Eddie and her dude, what's his name, Ryan, to hang out, and Ryan and Eddie sort of just beef it out, like they don't beef it out, they don't hit each other or anything, but they talk it out and it's all good. Also, isn't it weird that Jen's boo thing he's got the same name as Tamra's son, like it's also, ugh. I love seeing Heather, like I said, coming into this thing. She and Terry are thinking about getting a place outside of, the place that they have where they can spend more time together. And then Emily goes off on Heather. Emily has been taking these little shots at Heather. She's been putting them out there for a while. Basically saying she thinks that she's a snob, that she doesn't care about other people's feelings. It grew subtly too. At first it was like subtle, and now it's like, oh, out the bag. I'm like, girl, Emily, put it back in the bag. Heather is just, they got real money. Like, they got real money. I'm sorry, I don't mean to put it that way, but dude, she comes from a little bit of a different echelon. So I think they need to understand that and stop hammering. Like, let her know when she's being a little bit of a snob. But also, if she can try and make concessions for you and your specific walk of life, you can probably try to do the same thing for her. You know, it's like when you're talking to a kid. I know I don't like to make it that way, say it that way, but it's like when you're talking to a kid, you can yell at them, or like a dog. I mean, that's even a better example. I mean, Heather Dubrow is not a dog. But for example, a dog. You can be one of those pet owners that stuffs the dog's face down in poo. You know, like what does that really do for the dog? Or you can be the one who says, don't do that, okay? Mommy doesn't like that, you know? Yeah, so this is the episode where Eddie and Ryan get to hash it out. I think that I'm getting major throwback vibes, honestly, just in general, having Heather and Shannon and Tamara all together on the same show, you know, like, and that first round that Heather had come in, I feel like was classic Heather Dubrow. Ooh, y'all remember that Dublin trip. Where is Kelly Dodd when you need her? But anyway, that's basically how it all ended, and it was good. Now, let's talk about the next episode, because episode 10, I mean, that's where it's at. I definitely felt like, I told you, it's like, for every one real good episode, there's like 2 filler episodes. So 10. This is the confrontation where Shannon really goes off about everybody talking about her boo thing, John. Denial. Call her Cleopatra because she is living in denial. Okay, so basically Eddie is a super duper normal gentleman, and he is completely over the thing with Ryan. It's like they squashed it out. It's good. Don't do it again, but we good. Okay, whatevs. I think he's very, very good for Tamara. I've said that before. Now, let me just say, the last episode and this episode, Gina, again, Gina got rid of Vicki. Vicki with that friggin' keg stand. I think watching Vicki and Shannon do a keg stand is the most epic thing I've seen in 2023. It needs to be a GIF. Dude, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay. But anyway, back to Gina. I just think that Gina is the reason that Vicki is out of here. I think now that Vicki is kind of coming back in, Gina is going to feel insecure about her stake in the show, and she's going to start to do the same thing that she had done before, taking little shots at Vicki. I love the fact that at this party, they're all dressed like one another. Shannon dressed as Gina. Gina goes, of course she would dress like the worst version of me, because honestly, she couldn't pull out the current version of me. First of all, are you that insecure? It's like, just own it. Just own it. You dressed like that at some point. I just feel like Gina is a super smart woman, a talented woman who's maybe been in a marriage with someone who was emotionally abusive for a really long time. And I know from having a narcissist in my life for like 10 years that almost destroyed me, that they can make you sort of lose yourself a little bit. You try to hang on to your independence in small ways. Like, she wore this 90s looking jean outfit with a fanny pack, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I get what you're trying to do here, but at the same time, it's not reading 100% authentic to me. I feel like we've never seen the real version of Gina. I truly believe that. I feel like she's like a church mouse. She's hid very, very well. I think sometimes we get to see little snippets of her, and I think it's the moments where she's kind of sassy. But for the most part, I feel like I don't read that we're getting 100% authentic Gina. I don't know what that is. Like, maybe you guys can help me out with it in the comments. Anyway, the best version of you, girl, whatever version of you, if you really like with yourself, you feeling yourself, like, and any version of you is the dish. So just own it. I love that Tamara is dressed as Heather. She's got a little money gun, okay, first of all. And when she's like pulling her shirt up and you see her little, what do the pantyhose. You see her drawers and everything. And, Heather is like trying to get her to behave. Looking at Heather, trying to get Heather to behave. There's so much like Freudian psychology mixed up in that. Like, I just, that warmed my heart. That was the moment for me, other than the keg stand. I think that Heather dressed as Jen, it's so funny because when she's talking, she's like Heather, but she does kind of look like some stupid version of Jen. It kind of like pulls your head for a little spin. Gina dressed as Emily, the Spanx, the like puffy shirt. Girl, but Emily was right about the boobs. She just should have went ahead and got a little boob piece. Who did Taylor dress up as? Taylor dressed up as Tamra. So yeah, she's dressed up as Sporty Spice. That was pretty cute. It was like a very caricaturized version of Tamra, and I think Tamra didn't like that, but they all did basically caricaturize versions of each other. And I like that, again, I said before, I like that Jen and Taylor have this little rapport going on. She did I think it's called Top Deck or whatever the restaurant, the bar that she likes to really go to. She decked herself out. So I like the little elements, that show like, hey, like I'm a good friend. Like I know those things about you. Who did Emily dress up as? Who did Emily? Shannon. Like, and then when Emily is walking up to Shannon saying that she's not being authentic about her life. The irony, man. The irony. Shannon talking to Shannon about how she's not authentic about her life. Heather telling Heather to calm down and to be a lady. Like, oh my God. I feel like out of all the episodes I have ever watched of Orange County, I probably will come back and watch this one quite frequently. I mean, this has got to go up on the top 5. What other ones? The day that they went to the horse race, and they get wasted. The day that Gina got wine thrown in her eye, cyst and deceased. Oh man, there's so many good ones. But anyway, basically Shannon freaks out about them talking about her relationship with John, And this right here is where Vicki is really needed, because Vicki really she knows how to diffuse the situation to get everybody to have fun. And she's somehow like Switzerland, but she knows everything. She's up in everybody's business. She's talking about everything. But somehow it's like, I don't know, it's like in the background. I don't know how she pulls it off. But, yeah, Shannon. And the fact that Shannon is going through this, like, existential crisis, talking about her and John, walking around yelling, saying, stop the cameras, this is my real life. The fact that she is dressed up like 2012 Gina or whatever it is, or 2016 Gina, I have no idea. That right there is like, oh. It's so good. But Shannon, I mean, she looks worn out. She's wearing weird clothes. Like in her confessional interview. You guys know it. All I have to do is that, and you know what I'm talking about. She's wearing like a pink blazer and a bustier, like a Selena type bustier, and her boobs are all the way up here. And it just doesn't look like Shannon. She's not dressing like herself. Shannon dresses quite conservatively. So I don't know if this was even in her, with like a while ago we talked about their season photos, the individual ones and the group one with the yellow blazer or whatever. I feel like Bravo is interjecting itself too much. Bravo seems like they put her in those clothes. And maybe they coaxed her up and said, hey, you've broken up with John. It's time for a new look, whatever it is. Y'all are not doing Shannon any favors. Stop with that. I mean, her style, her natural style that she has herself is great. It seems like when Shannon gained some weight, she just kind of lost so much sense of herself. And I think that's why we really, as women, we got to talk about this stuff. You know, we got to talk about these super duper high expectations and burdens that we put on one another. And you can keep your same style even if you're a different way. Anyway, sitting her, watching her in this crazy blonde wig and this glittery purple dress and some boots, um, screaming about her and John, it just reads as something's not right. Something's not right. You know, when that's happening, something is definitely not right. You know, that if it hits home like that. But anyway, guys, I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, hit that bell so you know whenever I post video, and I will see you guys next time.